Hey guys, what's up? It's Phoebe from Alternative Twist Radio. Today we have the guys from Shallow Orbits. They're a SoCal band. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, thanks for having us.
We're so happy you guys came on. So why don't you introduce yourselves and tell me what instrument you play?
My name is Rich. I play mostly rhythm guitar, and I play some keyboards once in a while, and I sing.
My name is Roger. I play electric bass and backup vocals, and Rich is our singer-songwriter. He's the main songwriter.
I'm Robert Gumbridge. I'm the drummer. And when I'm not banging my head against the wall, I'm banging on the drums.
I'm Ernie. I play keyboards, synthesizer, and tap my toes.
So how did you guys come together to form the band?
Well, that's an interesting question. The Shallow Orbits first started out in about 2004, 2005. I had gone through a bunch of musicians until finally this group, I think Robert came around in about 2010. Is that about right, Robert?
11, 12.
10, 11 years ago. 2011, 2012. I had previously been in a band called the Alien Tiki Gods, which was kind of a punk surf instrumental kind of band in Huntington Beach. And that group dissolved, and I decided I had some songs I wanted to play, and started doing the Craigslist thing, and Shallow Orbits took off and started in about 2006. And then, like I said, Robert, the first member here, about 2011.
I came on board, Roger here, I don't know, in 16, 17 time frame, and I answered one of Rich's Craigslist ads and had the right...
Not that one, the musician one, right?
Yeah, the music. Yes, the musician ad, make that clear. And we, like peas in a pod, we had the right backgrounds, on music influences, and they're all pretty chill. So I was rehearsing with Robert and Rich shortly thereafter.
This is Ernie. I'm the newest member of the Orbits here. I came on board last year, and Rich approached me and said, "Hey, I'm trying to add maybe a new layer, a new feel to the fabric of the music," and he wanted to add, some different sounds, keyboards, synthesizer stuff, and so I hopped on board.
Ernie and I actually tried starting something in about, what was it, 1990 maybe, Ernie? When we were in college?
Yeah.
It was a little rough around the edges. I think what were we calling it? We were calling it
Puppet House.
Puppet House, is the Stewie Snacks or something like that. And I think we had one song. We never really learned to play it that well.
Yeah.
But we've come along. We've progressed a little, at least in 30 years.
And Robert, how did you join the group?
Well, I came in, I think it was a Craigslist ad. I was going through looking for girls, and I came across the band inadvertently. And
that's because I put it in the wrong section. I put it in the community section.
There, I got money and stuff. Anyway,
the alternate community.
Man, and Craigslist back in the day, it's a scary place. You find murderers and killers and all kinds of, come on now. You guys are brave.
Brown chicken, brown cow all the time. Yeah.
Oh no.
I've been with it since 12. Sorry to interrupt you. 2012-ish, 11, 12, and we've been hitting it since then. And I'm just glad to get away. I was playing classic rock cover band music, and it just got old. Same old songs everybody wants to hear at the bar. Freebird, play Freebird. It's like, again. We already played it 3 times tonight. That kind of thing. So.
And we'll never play it.
It's refreshing.
Because it's too complicated for me.
It's the same song. We play the same. That's the only song we knew, unfortunately. But.
What inspires you to write the music? Rich, do you write the music, or Roger, Ernie, Robert? How do you guys collaborate together?
I think I write most of the stuff. It's just like therapy for me. I sit with my acoustic guitar on the couch every night, and if I come up with something I like, I I used to write down words on a notepad, but now, I write it on my notes on my phone, and it's just normal for me. I've done that my whole life. I was a literature major in college, and I've always liked to write poetry and songs and things like that. And
Rich sort of frames it out with the acoustic and the vocals, and lays it out for us, and then Roger writes his own bass parts, and I write my own drum parts, and we kind of throw ideas around and kind of collaborate. And what do you think of this? I'll try this and that, and it evolves into something people can tolerate.
Yeah, and it's really cool because I get to come up with these little skeletons of a song, and then get to see how everybody puts it together.
Ernie, share with Phoebe how you and Rich brainstorm and come up with layering.
We same like just the other night. Rich came over with an acoustic, and we just sat and just kind of real freeform, organically, just kind of went through a few songs and just kind of came up with some different timing, different sounds, and just put little pieces together, and like Rich said, just kind of fleshed out the what he laid out originally.
It's always good to have teamwork in a band, especially when there's different members of different time frames coming in. So someone may not be as comfortable, but then when you get into the music, you just kind of get in your groove, and you just let the music flow. So I like that kind of collaboration within musicians. Can you tell us about how your band name came about, Shallow Orbits? That's really it's a unique band name.
The Shallow Orbits kind of originated around the time that our twins were born, in the early 2000s. And I was going through the list. I don't think the band name generators were around yet on the internet. Maybe they were, but I had lists and lists, and I was going through tons of names, and I couldn't come up with anything I liked. So, and I was a big fan of like the 80s post-punk kind of things, like Echo and the Bunnymen and the Icicle Works and Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, and I couldn't come up with anything cool like that. And then after our kids were born, my wife had a conversation with the doctor on the phone, and our kids were preemies. They're perfectly healthy and beautiful now. But when my son was born, he had a condition known as shallow orbits. His eyes seemed like they were bulging. He looked like a little Rodney Dangerfield. They look totally normal now.
Oh.
And he's such a beautiful little buddy now, my daughter too. But at the time, I guess his syndrome was shallow orbits. And my wife kind of said off the cuff, hey, there's a band name for you, Shallow Orbits, and it stuck.
When I was looking you guys up, I was trying to find your website, and sure enough, when I type in Shallow Orbits, that's one of the first things that comes up. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that's a condition. I knew that it was, I didn't know the name of it. So, and then it just stuck in my mind. Oh, that's Shallow Orbits. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm interviewing Shallow Orbits today.
I mean, that's like, I would not have expected that. I'm going to try that, Google that.
I liked that it had a kind of a sci-fi bent to it, because I liked writing songs like Midnight on Mars and other things. I liked the spacey type stuff, and it kind of fit.
It's an interesting, funny story. So to me, I remember things easier with a visual. So for sure, I'll remember that, your band name. So it's
right.
Very cool.
And just for the record, I'm going to share that with my family tonight.
You should look. The second we get off the call, you should check it out.
So cool. I remember Rich sharing that with me, but I didn't know, not to that level of detail, I mean, the story. So kudos to you, Rich. Thanks.
Are there any gigs or events coming up that you want to share with your fans?
Well, I don't have an exact date, but I think we'll be at the Blue Beat in Newport Beach within the next couple months or so. We played there before, and I think we've got a couple shows that are in the works. We don't have it lined up yet, but I'll be putting it on the Reverb Nation page pretty soon.
Cool. Very exciting. And do you have any funny or interesting stories during your musical performances that you want to share?
I can tell you, I'm gonna throw Rich under the bus here.
Right.
We played that. What was that place down in Lake Forest? It was
Bosco's?
Bosco's, yeah. We played Bosco's.
Espers.
And we got there a little early and started drinking a little bit. And next thing you know, Rich was playing it. He fell forward and knocked the mic over and collected himself and kept playing. He did a good job of, getting back up, putting the mic back in position and stuff. But that's the funniest thing I can. And then that place in South Central that we played, that was an interesting venue. It was had to keep
the Music Museum.
What happened there?
Yeah, that was like our first post-COVID gig. We had one gig right before COVID broke. It was like in the end of February of 2020, I think it was, the Redwoods Inn, and that was a fun gig. That was there's this little Mexican guy. He's about 4'6", and the people there, they're like a jolly bunch of people. It was fun. They were a fun bunch, and they kept telling the guy, stand up. And he said, I am standing up.
and he kept asking me, hey man, do you know any Metallica? Can you play something from Metallica? I said, no, I'm sorry, I don't know any Metallica.
It was a fun gig.
And then let's that other show in South Central, let's tell that story. Just 3-4 months ago.
Epicenter of the LA riots, Rodney King, all that stuff. But
they had us
when we were going to have a lead guitar player join us that night, and I guess there it was a little scary for him, and he turned around and went home, I guess.
It was a pretty intense venue. It was actually right on the block where Reginald Denny had gotten beaten up.
It was weird. You had to go down this long, skinny little alley, and then find a place to park and unload your gear. So you're like unloading your gear, and I kept going out and looking, checking in my car, making sure nobody's messing. But nobody was messing around there. It was a lot. It was just in our mind,
He didn't have to use the password. The owner told me I had to tell Big Louie that the password was, I can't remember. There was a guy named Big Louie standing by the gate.
You got to tell us the password.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the password, I think it was Pineapple.
Yeah, that's true. There was a password.
And, I called the manager. He said, yeah, he gave me the address, and he says behind a laundromat. And when you get behind the laundromat, there's going to be a gate, and there's going to be a guy standing there. And there was a guy standing there. I think that was Big Louie, but he wasn't very big. So it was like maybe Little Louie, but I had to say something. It was the name of a fruit. I thought it was pine. Maybe it was mango. Well, everybody here says mango these days, but I think it was mango or pineapple. It's like
it was
yellow
mango.
Oh my god!
It was funny. You go down to what was that, Normandy, and from Florence, and then you turn in this little street, this residential street, and then you go through this gate, this big wrought iron gate that lets you into this long, skinny, like quarter-mile long, where there's barely enough time for or space for your car to squeeze through, to go all the way to the end. And that was the entrance to this place, as well as where you bring your gear in. There was no front door, I don't think. I think maybe he had to go let people in. It was a very
There was no front door. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
It was really weird.
Yeah,
Really weird.
they blocked it off for some reason, because before COVID, it was a legit dive bar. And everyone, I asked the guy, and everyone entered from the alleyway. No one, even though they officially had a door. I mean, for fire, you need to have a front and a back, right? And, so even though, so they basically didn't use it as any legit access. So everyone was coming in from the alleyway.
That's awesome. So why don't we take this time to watch your music video, okay? was an awesome video. Thank you so much, guys.
This is Rich from the Shallow Orbits Band.
Roger.
This is Robert, the drummer from Shallow Orbits.
This is Ernie from Shallow Orbits.
Thank you for listening to Alternative Twist Radio.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please share, like, and subscribe to our channel and find us on all of our social media, links in our bio. Thanks.